Hi guys, got another video to show you. This is a frenzy het pied to a frenzy pied and an enchi pied. Now the frenzy is a genus isolated from a leopard that came from Mike Wilbank's probably about 10 years ago. I've made super frenzies, pied frenzies and super frenzy pieds even. So it's quite an interesting gene. I haven't started out crossing it yet. I just wanted to prove it out a little bit more. There's some very interesting animals in this clutch, as you will see shortly. Hi guys, so this is the clutch. This is a frenzy het pied. It's been mated back to a dad who is a frenzy pastel het pied, and also an enchi pied. My enchi pied's never produced any eggs before, so I don't know. Well, it should be fertile. There's no reason why it shouldn't be. But so this first animal is already pipped on its own and has a really long stretched umbilical cord. Looks like a normal, to be honest. Okay, I'll probably tie that off in a minute. I'll look what's in the rest of these first. So this guy's heavily pipped. These are 4 days early, so oh, that's a frenzy. So most of my clutches have been late this year, and these guys have decided to do it early, so that's a frenzy. Hopefully it'll be well, it should be het pied, one way or the other. Well, no, it won't be. It'll be over 66%, or if there's any inches in here, 100%. So there we have a pied, lovely. I'm not sure what that is. Just get my glute box down. That looks like, oh, it's a frenzy. Excellent. Okay, so the frenzies. Look at that, beautiful markings on that pied. So that's a frenzy pied. Excellent. So we know who the dad is. So, oh, there's another one that's pipped there. Let's do that one. Blood vessel sticking through there, but if this guy's pipping, he's done with it. He doesn't need it anymore. And then we have another frenzy, very dark, really nicely marked frenzy. These guys, it'll be easier to explain to you once these guys have shed what the frenzy gene is. I've actually made super frenzies, which are really messy, really busy, look like a trick, a bit like a trick, a bit like a GHI. There's all sorts. Oh, this one's oh, he's pipped as well. Look, I was just cleaning it and goose started coming out, so he's actually pipped on the side there. So might as well use that hole. And then we have another pied. Lovely, lovely, lovely. These I would have said, looking at these two as well, both of these pieds are super frenzies as well, which is really nice. It's good odds. I won't know properly until they've shed, but excellent. There's two pieds. It's a bit of a shame the enchi didn't get it. I'd like to have seen what the enchi and the frenzy did together, but it was my enchi pied boy's first year of breeding, and obviously the other guy's more experienced. Oh, he says so. It looks like I've got my second mixed sire clutch of the season. So that is an enchi pied. So for sure. Oh, cool. All right. Well, he did make somewhat of a deposit. So 3 pieds. I'm quite happy with that so far. So I mean, those others could actually then be frenzy enchi pieds, but we'll see. It's difficult to tell in the egg. We'll wait till they've shed off. Be easier to tell. That one is 100% enchi. You always see enchi pieds because they're very, they always have very little white. I've not seen one that hasn't got a very low level of white on it. And there we have a frenzy. So that's another frenzy. So cool. 3 pieds and 4, is it 4 frenzies? Yeah, 4. Although I'm not entirely sure on that guy there. Oh yeah, it's just a low expression frenzy. I'll sort this one out once I've got off the camera. I'm going to tie that umbilical cord off, because he's obviously tried to come out of the egg and stretched it, and it's torn, so it's no good to him anymore. So I'll cut that, and I'm sure he'll be fine. And that one there, that is a little beauty. That could either be just an enchi pied or an enchi frenzy pied. One way or the other, it's a nice animal. Okay, so I'm going to tie this off, this umbilical cord off that's torn. I did recently see a terrible video online of somebody cut one of these without tying it off. I'm going to use 17-pound fishing line. This is Berkeley Trilene, in case anybody wants to know specifically. It's an American fishing line and it's bloody amazing stuff. So I'm just going to put a normal granny knot around this. If you cut these things, I can see that's got no blood supply left to it, but I'm still going to tie it off. I'm not going to take any risks. If you cut these and they're not tied off, your animal will bleed to death. The umbilicus has got blood vessels that go right into the animal. So now, you see, I've tied that off. I've tied a double overhand loop. That's all it needs, nothing fancy. I can do suturing and that being a nurse, but I don't need to do anything fancy for it. Cut those off, and then just cut it obviously on the right side. Make sure you cut it on the dead side. As you can see, there's absolutely no blood supply to that whatsoever. This little animal should be fine once this will dry out and the end will drop off, and invariably you find the last little bit of it falling off in the box. As you can see, it's quite lively, it's fine. There we go. I think he has tired himself out trying to pull himself off. If we have a look at this, there's still quite open this up. Still quite a lot of yolk left in there. I don't know what the hurry was for him to. Actually, there isn't a lot. There's not actually. There's quite a small ball there. So there's just a small ball of yolk left there, and you can see where he's torn it and fragmented it. It's actually quite friable. So there you go. So the right way to tie off an umbilical before you cut it. So this is the frenzy, which is one of my own genes, to a frenzy pied and an enchi pied. I stuck in an enchi pied in there once, first time the guy's ever locked, and obviously he was successful because there is an enchi pied in this clutch. So this one is a frenzy, so this is a frenzy pied. There's no pastel involved in this whatsoever, but you can see the colour's quite unusual. So that's the frenzy came out of a leopard many years ago. I've proven the frenzy out. There is a frenzy and a super frenzy. I actually think this is just actually I think it is a super. It's a super frenzy. I'd have to compare it to the others, but and if it's a girl, it would be the first frenzy pied that I've got. They've all been boys so far. Yeah, that's a girl, so excellent. So that one will be staying put. It's really nice, that I like that. And then there's another frenzy pied there. That is definitely a super. So I hit 2 supers in one clutch, which is cool. Very busy pattern on this. Again, there's no pastel in this, so you can see the colour difference from a normal pied is quite obvious. That's quite. What's that got? It's quite a long tail, so that's probably going to be a boy. And I would be wrong, it's a girl as well. Excellent. So this is a joint project with a friend of mine called Ben Harrower, a gentleman from Inverness. It's his girl and my boy. So we'll get one female pied each. And the dual sire part came from this fella. So this is the this is an enchi pied. It's a very, very bright enchi pied. I haven't hatched many enchi pieds, if I'm honest. So I'm wondering whether that could actually be. You're looking at the pattern, it does look frenzy as well. Well, mum's a frenzy, so there's a good chance it can be. So I'm going to say that's a frenzy enchi pied, and that's really cool. I really like that. I think I already popped this, and it was a girl. Yeah, cool, nice. Three female pieds on the knock. It's really good. You can see this animal. See, she is. Enchi pieds are quite busy anyway. I do have an enchi pied that's about to lay. Pattern is nothing like that. So I'm going to actually say that's a enchi frenzy pied. That is really cool. I like that. It's a beautiful animal, and you can see she's quite aggressive. When I checked on them last night just to see if they'd shed, they all bit me. And this one's going to have a go now. Look. Ouch, as I said. Oh shit, pack it in. So this is a frenzy. So it looks a bit leopardy, and it looks like it's got the clown fingers on it and that. And you're gonna, and there'll be people out there saying, "Oh, it looks like a normal," which is what you get when you're dealing with new genes and people that don't understand them. This animal bred to another frenzy, obviously it will be het pied, but it produces a super frenzy, and the super frenzy is awesome. I'll get him out in a minute and I'll show you. Very busy belly on these guys. Look, you can see it's not a normal look. Bit of belly on that. They do look a bit. This was originally the original adult that produced the frenzies was sold to me by an American chappie as a leopard, and it turned out it wasn't. And that one is also a frenzy. There was one more baby in this clutch, but it didn't make it come out the egg, and it just died for some reason. It's just one of those things. That's the second one I've had this year. Probably third one actually out of the amount of babies I've hatched. So these frenzies, until I make some more supers, I'm not actually going to release any of them yet. I'm just going to keep working with it. I'm going to now that I've reproduced the super frenzy pieds and the frenzy pieds, I'm going to start mixing it across to other genes. What I'll do is I'm going to stop the camera in a moment, and I'll go and get the super frenzy and show you him. He's quite cool. So that's the one next to the one trying to kill me. That one there is definitely a super frenzy pied. That one, I've got a feeling that even could be a frenzy pied with enchi as well. Look how light the colour is on the back end. But that one's definitely a super frenzy pied. That's really cool. Look at the markings on the side of that. I'll show you a couple in a minute. When that thing's finished biting me, I did a video last night and got bitten on the palm of my hand there, and it's rock hard today and sore. So I've got to be a bit careful with these little things now. So I'd rather get bitten by one of my water cobras than these things. Right, so I'm waffling. I shall go and get a couple of frenzies to show you. So this is the frenzy. This is the single gene frenzy. As I say, isolated from what was supposed to be a pastel leopard het pied many years ago. He did turn out to be het pied and made some amazing pieds, and a load of these. So as you can see, they don't look like a normal one. They've got lots of what we call Cheerios and loops and that on the back, and quite a bit of pattern crossing over. They've got this blushing on them a bit like an enchi. There's no pastel involved in this at all. So this colouring literally comes from whatever gene this is. She's got quite a lot of hooks and a bit hurricane-y looking in places. I love his neck. He's got quite an interesting, here keeps still long enough, quite an interesting neck. And then busy belly with the tram lines. Ouch. I know this guy is het pied because I've bred him. So that's a single level frenzy, single gene frenzy. I'll go and get you a super to show you. So this guy is the super frenzy. He's frenzy to frenzy. As you can see again, he's got a lot of blushing. He's a lot darker than the other guy, and he's got a lot more of these hurricane-y looking rings and that on him. Ringers, and these make the super pieds, the super frenzy pieds are awesome. I haven't proved this one out actually. I don't know if this one is a 100% het pied or not. I haven't actually bred this guy yet. I was waiting for him to get a bit bigger, and then I'm going to start breeding him into other projects. I won't really know if he's het pied until I start doing that, if I put him into something that's het pied. So as you can see, he's a lot busier than the single level gene. You know, I've had people say that these look like normals, but I think they need to go and get their eyes tested. He's got these genes, these markers that cross over again, lots of Cheerios, and I think, you know, he's got lots of these little white fleckings, which the other one doesn't have. So there we are, super frenzy. Hopefully, after I didn't hit any supers in that clutch, not like that are not pied, but I'm certain that smaller pied is a super frenzy pied. So I'll show you an adult frenzy pied in a moment. Hopefully I'll be able to keep her a bit stiller than this fella. So this is a frenzy pied. This girl's about 4 years old now. I've not had any eggs out of her. She's was a very slow starter, difficult to get her feeding. But as you can see, she's absolutely amazing. She's got the frenzy on her head, frenzy pattern all over the place. She is pastel, so there is pastel coming through, and I'm sure a lot of this other stuff is paradoxing. But as you can see, the frenzy makes a really interesting pied. The higher the pattern on it, the nicer they look. More paradoxing down here on the tail. Grumpy, as you can hear. She has got follicles. I have mated her. I believe I might have. Yeah, I did. I put her to my enchi pied. So hopefully, with any luck, eventually we'll get some eggs out of this girl. As you can see, she's absolutely stunning. There's all sorts of different patterns and colours and markings all over the place. She's one of my favourite pieds, I think. Funny little tail, really short tail. Hold still. So there we go. It's very warm in this shed at the moment. It's 30 degrees, so these animals are heating up and getting active quite quickly. And she does like to bite, so I'm going to put this one back. So there you go, frenzy pieds and frenzies. Okay, so there you have it, another really nice clutch. Frenzy pieds and enchi pieds. I'm pretty sure now, I've had a good look at the super frenzy that we made. I'm pretty sure both of those girls are super frenzies. And the enchi is possibly an enchi frenzy, but I think, you know, that's just the odd spurious addition from the single mating that I did with the enchi. Whatever, however it happened, I'm really happy with that clutch, and I've got some really nice pieds there. Thank you for watching, and if you like my video, please press subscribe or hit the like button, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you very much.